The support problem in Overwatch is a segment where I would like to talk about current issues surrounding supports in the Overwatch community. I had originally planned to talk about Mercy and the strengths and weaknesses of our res, how it changed gameplay, and why people hate it so much. But a recent thread on the Overwatch forums calling for all support players to boycott playing support caught my attention and is actually gaining some traction. People feel that support's getting nerfed while DPS keep getting buffed is beginning to sway things in the way of DPS. They're beginning to feel that Blizzard is catering to DPS players and only keeping the DPS players happy because they have the more exciting plays and are what help keep the esport afloat. I, however, am a bit skeptical of this, as it feels a little like upset people looking for more reasons to validate their point of view. However, I decided to go through all the patch notes and tally up nerfs and buffs to DPS and support. I excluded bugs because those are unintended. But I do have to say I'm rather surprised, considering that there are 4 heroes who I consider healers, and 12 who I consider DPS. And of the 4 heroes who were healers, I counted 12 nerfs total. Sometimes, like in the case of Lucio's rework, I counted it as a nerf and a buff, because there were so many changes to how he worked that could be considered a nerf. However, they did buff some things about his healing output and that sort of thing. So, what I'm trying to say is if you do the same thing, your results may vary. However, with there being 13 DPS classes, I only counted 11 nerfs. Now, I'm not good with math, but if you count the number of healers versus DPS, that's a lot more nerfs on the support side. It does honestly look like there may be a bit of a DPS bias. However, not every support was created equal in the buff-nerf game. Poor Ana has been practically beat to death by the nerf bat, while Mercy has been swimming in buffs. What this tells me is that balancing healers is hard, especially when you consider that healers are not usually included in the FPS genre. It wasn't a new idea to add the Holy Trinity to an FPS, but Blizzard really took it and ran with it. And I kind of get why, in this game in particular, people love to berate the healers. On the enemy team, you're trying your best to get kills. It's what the game revolves around. But healers do the opposite. They are trying to save the people you're killing and essentially undoing all your hard work. That doesn't really feel rewarding from a DPS standpoint. The people on the friendly team are looking to healers to enable riskier plays. They may take some damage, but they might also get some kills. But that doesn't always go as planned and they die. Then it becomes the healer's fault. Or, let's say you're playing a healer yourself and you get in a bad situation and die, leaving your team to fight without heals. This doesn't feel good to anyone in your team, and it especially doesn't feel good to you. The truth of the matter is healers are a crutch, and I say this as a support main and healer lover. If you can play the game well, but also cautiously, healers aren't needed. There are health packs that you can use to get health back after taking damage. But that's not the game that Blizzard set out to make. Healers allow for the riskier strategies and faster paced gameplay, which means Blizzard isn't trying to phase out supports. They do nerf them a lot, but I imagine balancing healers so they aren't total beasts or absolutely worthless is kind of like walking on a tightrope. Healers, more so than any other class in the game, really do have the potential to completely sway the battlefield. And that's just one person out of a team of 6, so that can be a really difficult thing to balance. So, am I going to boycott playing a support to get upcoming nerfs reversed? No. I mostly play Mercy, but I like all those supports. The current meta pigeonholes me into playing her, which sucks, because sometimes I just want to zap things as Symmetra. I want all the supports to be brought into line with each other. Sometimes this does unfortunately mean nerfs. In fact, to be honest with you, as a Mercy player, I would rather they got rid of res altogether. It causes so many problems, it changes the pace of gameplay, it makes Mercy way too valuable. I honestly wish they would just get rid of it altogether and give her some other ability that is a part of her kit. and vulnerability, maybe? I would also really like to see some buffs, however, to Anna in particular. She is really struggling right now, and like I said earlier, she has received so many nerfs throughout the time that this game has been released. And I suspect we will see some sometime in the future. Anyway, these are my thoughts. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy our content.